斗帝血脉的唯一途径，便是多交往几个漂亮妹子。
的确如此。这些年，从云日到小医仙，再到美杜莎女王，再到中州遇到的妹子，我一个都没有放过，实力也随着交往的妹妹变多而突飞猛进。
因为萧族的族位，并非受人赐予，而是靠自己泡出来的。我在你身上感受到了10几个妹子的气息。
He was the strongest Dosheng in the entire battle through the heavens world. A man who hesitated all his life, yet ultimately defied fate, broke through to Dodi, and earned himself a perfect ending. But what exactly happened halfway through his journey? Gu Yuan, patriarchs of the Gu clan, one of the 8 ancient clans, was the helmsman who steered the Gu clan's ship for thousands of years. His entire life was spent wavering between responsibility and sentiment. Every decision he made shifted the trajectory of the entire Duqi continent. In his younger years, he and Xiao, the patriarch of the Xiao clan, were intimate confidants. The time he spent cultivating alongside Xiao became a treasured memory in his long path of training. The two peerless experts once traveled the continent shoulder to shoulder, discussing martial truth and forging a deep bond that surpassed the boundaries of their clans. When Xiao resolved to condense his clan's bloodline and challenge the legendary realm of Daodi, he solemnly entrusted Gu Yuan atop a lonely peak. If something happens to me, I hope you can look after the Xiao clan, just a little. Gu Yuan did keep his word. He truly only looked after them a little, and everything afterward, he completely left unattended. After Xiao failed his Daodi breakthrough, the Xiao clan was brutally purged by the Hun clan. Faced with the Hun clan, who were severely damaged at the time, Gu Yuan, at the most decisive moment, revealed the overcautious and somewhat cowardly side buried deep within his nature. Worried about maintaining balance between the ancient clans and safeguarding the Gu clan, he missed the best opportunity to exterminate this hidden calamity once and for all. That controversial decision was like a stone cast into the river of time. Its ripples spread across 1,000 years, eventually becoming the prologue to the catastrophe that swept across the entire continent. Throughout the long years that followed, Gu Yuan silently observed the remaining bloodline of the Xiao clan, to grant his daughter Xun a childhood free from strife, and to accommodate the elder's desire to investigate the whereabouts of the Tozhi ancient god's jade. He sent Xun to the remote Xiao family in Wutan City. This seemingly simple arrangement actually contained the dual intentions of a father's protection and a patriarch's responsibility. Those two emotions intertwined subtly in his heart. On quiet moonlit nights, he would look toward the northwest, torn between worry for his daughter's safety and guilt for using this familial bond as leverage. When news arrived that Xiaojan had been captured by the Hall of Souls and the Tushi ancient god's jade had gone missing, Gu Yuan immediately dispatched the elite black armored army to retrieve Xun. Although this action seemed somewhat pragmatic, even shameless nothing was unacceptable when it came to the clan's interests. As time passed, the Gu clan held a grand coming-of-age ceremony. Xun was confirmed to possess divine-grade bloodline, and she openly acknowledged her affection for Xiaoyan. Gu Yuan personally met the young man who had risen from the remote northwest. In their conversation, he made clear that the Gu clan could not openly assist him, yet he still displayed an open, tolerant attitude toward the pair's relationship. This mix of wisdom and broad-mindedness made Xiaoyan feel both pressured and hopeful. Meanwhile, the situation on the continent grew turbulent. The Spirit Clan and Stone Clan vanished mysteriously, and the ancient clans began fearing for their own survival. Gu Yuan vaguely sensed the involvement of the Hun clan, but lacking concrete evidence, he hesitated to act. This caution had always been his preferred way of handling matters. But in extraordinary times, it became hesitation and indecisiveness unbefitting a leader. It was not until the Yao clan faced annihilation, and Xiaoyan arrived at the Gu clan with the few surviving clansmen, bringing with him solid proof that the Hun clan had seized the devouring abilities of the devouring Spirit clan, that Gu Yuan, under Xiaoyan's earnest persuasion, finally resolved to unite the Lei clan and Yan clan to fight their common enemy. However, the Hun clan's arrangement ran far deeper than anyone expected. Just as the clans were still discussing their alliance, Hun Tiandi suddenly appeared and confronted Gu Yuan directly. Even worse, the Gu clan had long been infiltrated. At the height of the confrontation between Gu Yuan and Hun Tiandi, the hidden traitor exploited the chaos and stole the Tushi ancient god's jade that the Gu clan had guarded for generations. This grave oversight left Gu Yuan filled with regret and pain, and it fully awakened him. In this war, even the slightest hesitation could no longer be tolerated. To rapidly enhance the strength of the alliance, he made a decisive choice at an enormous cost. He forcibly opened the heavenly tomb and sent Xiao Yan inside to temper himself. This action not only acknowledged Xiao Yan's overwhelming potential, but also served as Gu Yuan's unwavering atonement for the hesitations of his past. When Hun Tiandi finally gathered all the ancient god jades and opened the gateway to the Tuoshe ancient mansion, the place holding the fate of the entire continent, Gu Yuan immediately sensed the monstrous undercurrent stirring beneath the surface. Without a moment of delay, he personally led countless Gu clan experts and the ancient alliance to intercept him. This was no ordinary battle. It was their final gamble against destiny itself. During the struggle for the preliminary Emperor Pill, even though Gu Yuan had joined forces with Zhu Kun of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, and both unleashed their full power, void swallowing, flame-possessed unique techniques that restrained the Pill's energy. The balance was overturned in an instant. Watching Hun Tiandi struggle, yet still forcibly swallow the Emperor Pill power surging, the peak of Dudi emerging before their eyes, Gu Yuan could only stand helpless as everything collapsed. Perhaps this was the most agonizing, bitter moment in the life of a patriarch who had always prided himself on caution. Yet even in that abyss of despair, Gu Yuan did not fall. He rose with the bearing of a true ancient leader. Despite being severely injured by a single casual strike from Hun Tiandi bones shattered, ki and blood in chaos, he endured the pain and roared out commands, rallying the entire alliance. He understood clearly. If he could just buy enough time, just enough for Xiao Yan to break through, the continent would still have hope. The final defensive battle was so tragic that even heaven and earth seemed to mourn. Elders of the Gu clan fell one after another, their bodies shattered amid desperate heroic cries. Blood drenched Gu Yuan's battle robe, dripping onto the scorching earth, yet he remained, at the front line like an unbreakable wall. His body was nearly ruined, but his iron will held up the last fragile thread of hope for everyone. And then just as destruction loomed over the continent, a final spark of hope ignited. Xiao Yan succeeded in breaking through to Dodi. With overwhelming momentum capable of overturning the heavens, the Flame Emperor Xiao Yan charged straight at Hun Tiandi with reckless resolve, and ultimately sealed the greatest enemy in history. When the war was over, Xiao Yan opened a passage between realms, allowing Origin Qi to descend once more upon the desolate land. With his 1,000 years of accumulated foundation, Gu Yuan seized the opportunity to break through in one stroke, stepping into the realm of Dudi and becoming one of the pillars of the new era. He, Xiao Yan, and the surviving powerhouses then journeyed toward the Great Thousand World, vaster and more challenging than anything before. Looking back on Gu Yuan's life, his cautious nature had served as both the shield that protected the Gu clan for countless generations, and the shackle that sometimes restricted his vision. Yet when the true life and death moment of the continent arrived, he shattered all restraints, cast aside all calculations, and used his very life to defend the future of his descendants and the world. In those final defining moments, his greatness shone brighter than ever. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and join me for the next epic chapter.